All right, good evening. Welcome to our June 20th, 2024 Parks and Rec Commission meeting. I would like to start off in consideration of others. Please, reminder to turn off or mute your phones, pagers. Thank you for your cooperation. Let's start with opening ceremonies. Can I please get a commissioner to help me with the flag salute?
Okay, please stand.
Commissioner Carlin, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Carlin. Let's move to roll call.
Okay, Chairperson Santana,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Lovano,
Present.
Commissioner Carlin,
Present.
Commissioner Takayama,
Present.
and Commissioner Jimenez.
Present.
Thank you so much. At this time, we will move to presentations or a public comment.
Thank you, Chairperson. At this time, the general public may address the commission or committee on any items listed on the agenda, including items not listed on the agenda, which are known as non-agenda items that fall within the subject matter jurisdiction of this commission. Please be aware that the maximum time allotted for members of the public to speak shall not exceed 3 minutes per person. State law prohibits the commission or committee from taking action or entertaining any extended discussion on a topic not listed on the agenda. Also, please show courtesy to others and direct all your comments to the chairperson. And chairperson, I know we have several comments about the dog park item number 1, but what we're going to do is we do have one non-specific item, non-agenda item that we'll go ahead and call that one first. So I'll go ahead and have our analyst, Lori, take care of that.
Okay, we have Antonio Seleng.
Hello. Okay, you see me.
You gotta hear it.
Thank you.
There we go. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Go ahead. Thank you.
Honorable Chairperson Santana and Commissioner members, my name is Antonio Salang. I work with the Institute for Public Strategies, a nonprofit public health agency that provides substance use and tobacco prevention services. Our coalition here in Montebello focuses on informing and educating the community on the dangers of secondhand smoke, which I am here this evening to share with you. Secondhand smoke includes traveling smoke from burning of tobacco products, such as cigarettes, and other plant products such as marijuana and cannabis. This also includes aerosols exhaled by users of electronic smoking devices such as e-cigarettes. Secondhand smoke causes adverse health effects for both adults and children. This includes stroke, lung cancer, sudden infant death syndrome, and respiratory illness, to name a few. Through recent public opinion surveys we collected in the past year here in Montebello, 83% of Montebello residents have been exposed to secondhand smoke in outdoor areas. Yet 93% and 95% of them believe that secondhand smoke in outdoor areas is harmful to their health and can interfere with their comfortable enjoyment of life. According to the 2024 State of Tobacco Control Report published annually by the American Lung Association, Montebello received a grade of an F for smoke-free outdoor air. Yet we want to acknowledge and commend the incredible transformative work that the city has achieved, which will help foster a smoke-free or outdoor environment, such as Ordinance 2471, which prohibits smoking in recreational areas, and also the Montebello Night Market for consistently picking up trash, including cigarette butts, every Thursday nights. Our team is committed to continue to provide the information education to Montebello community members and hope that the city consider closing loopholes where smoking is still permitted. 24 jurisdictions across LA County have adopted and implemented comprehensive smoke-free outdoor area ordinances, which prohibit smoking in at least 5 major outdoor areas, such as outdoor dining, entryways, public events, service areas, sidewalks, and outdoor work sites. The cities of Pasadena, South Pasadena, Alhambra, Temple City, Baldwin Park, and Bell have adopted such ordinances. Our coalition hopes that the city of Montebello considers a similar policy solution to addressing this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next public speaker is Jose Luis Lara Jr.
Good evening, everyone. My first time speaking, so I'm a little nervous, so bear with
Welcome.
me. I don't know if you know who I am, but I'm known as Bluebeard, big Dodger fan. And I love the whole thing about the dog park. Me and my wife travel, some distance to take our newly adopted dog, Chavez, AKA Chavez Ravine. So, putting this park right here is great. And one thing we love about it is going to be the safety issue. We love the fact that, police department's right here and everything else. Some of the things I want to suggest, because I saw that on IG, which is maybe theme it a little bit too. Put Dodgers, of course, Lakers, Kings, little things like that, little murals or whatever. And also, fire hydrants for the dogs, toys. We got to donate them. I'll come out of my pocket to donate toys for the dog park. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Susan Karapetian.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Susan Karapetian. I'm here. I live at the corner house, 632 North 18th Street. We've been there since 1971 in this home where there was no park. We don't want a dog park. We're going to get a petition going to stop it. It's going to be very bad. It was supposed to go to Quiet Canyon. Margot Eisner suggested it to go to Quiet Canyon. Why did that stop? Did you ask the neighbors that live right there how it's going to affect them? Did you ask them if it's going to be okay? Do you want it there? Is it going to be a noise problem? Is it going to be a parking problem that we already have a parking problem? What are you going to do about parking for all these people that come to our dog park? Maybe you should move it to City of Montebello Park where there's more room. It's not near residents, and a dog park shouldn't be near residents where they live. You're going to be disturbing the peace. You need police for Southside rather than a dog park. You need, it's going to cost, they say $450,000 to put a dog park here, but you have a $650,000 grant for this. Where's the other $200,000 going to go? That's what I like to know. Maybe you should put it in Metro Heights. You have, I think, 53,000 square feet of parkland that you're going to use. Oh, but we can't go in there because it's a private community, right? So that's off the limit there. But you want to impose it on us over here. I have no problem with the dog park. I have no problem with dogs, but just not here. You said you're going to get rangers, park rangers. We've had park rangers in the past, and they didn't do anything for us. And I heard that you have park rangers again. They're still not doing anything for us. We're against it. We're just completely against this dog park, and we're going to try to stop it. We don't want it here for us. You need to think about our peace and quiet here. before you think about the furry friends. I have dog, and I don't have problems with dogs, but it doesn't belong there. You should put that money towards the police. Put it towards the police or move it somewhere else, not here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Will Severa.
Good evening, Commissioners. I live in District 3, so it doesn't necessarily pertain to me. However, knowing the city's history and how we've acted, our park service is a skeleton crew. They do not have enough people to really maintain the parks. If you go to the south side, Montebello, I literally live next to Grant Ray Park, so I have a great park. We're gonna have 4th of July there. And I'm telling you guys that south side, it won't be in because it's a danger. If you go to the parks, I can guarantee you none of us in any of this building would be there in the evening because of safety concerns. We've known for 20 years this railroad overpass was gonna come. And North Montebello, where our police station is right behind here, is completely cut off from Southside Montebello. On Montebello Boulevard, on Vale and Maple, there is no way to get to South Street, on Southside. So you're gonna say, oh, let's go to Bluff. It's a 2-lane highway with no center divider, and as a former firefighter that used to drive a fire engine, I'm trying to tell you guys, there is absolutely no way to get a fire engine to the south side unless you're gonna go to Garfield Boulevard and you're gonna go to Paramount Boulevard. We have another fire personnel up there, and he will also be able to explain to you if it's completely closed down, you are cut off. A few years ago, if you guys remember, on Greenwood, there was a fire. The fire station the fire engine that's supposed to be designated in the south side was doing training here. Typical protocol means the station 55 would be transferred to the south side, so this way we have always a response team being able to meet the requirements. It didn't happen. So we had to depend on other services to come into our city. Why do I bring this up? I do have health concerns. I know other people have health concerns. The time for response is always critical. If you have a heart attack, if you have a stroke, if you're gonna have a slip and fall, all those medications have a timeline. We are missing that. I understand about the dogs. I've had a dog. I went to many dog parks. My concern is the safety of the residents is number one. Number two is, like the lady said, that they brought back the park rangers. No, they brought back police officers to work the parks. So we're paying glorified officers to maintain the park system. And if you look outside on the television, you have our ads. What's the pay for starting? $89,000 to $139,000 a year for 7 police officers. How much is that a year, guys? That's $100,000, $700,000 a year. Our park rangers did not cost us that amount of money. I understand that this is not on you guys. I know everybody's gonna beat you guys up, but this is a council decision. Unfortunately, council's not listening. If they would have actually been in the council chambers prior to their election, they would also understand that this issue has been worked on since 2016. And they were talking about the old gas station with the San Gabriel COG to be able to make it into a dog park. Why? Because you don't have residents, because they're gonna bulldoze them down where they're gonna put the parking, right? Right on Olympic and Montebello Boulevard. The backside, you're gonna have a sound wall. The next side, you're gonna have those condos. They're used to the noise from a train. On the left and the front, they're not gonna have any neighbors. It makes sense. It's a vacant area right in the center. See, the real Montebello south side, north side cutoff by the United States Post Office is Whittier Boulevard. That's exactly where you're gonna see north and south side. These yahoos started changing it to be on the railroad. That is not the official south side. So please understand, I believe 3 of you guys or 2 of you guys live on that south side. You will not have any police to come to you. You're gonna depend on Pico Rivera sheriffs and Commerce sheriffs. They're not guaranteed to you. If they're busy, you're waiting for the next route in. We see the crime rate going up. And I'm
Thank
sorry,
you,
I know the
Mr.
time's up.
Severa. I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Tila Gregorian.
Good evening. My name is Sheila Gregorian, resident of Montebello for most of my life. And I guess I uncovered a can of worms because I was the one that suggested that maybe in the future it would be nice to have a dog park. I have a home, I have a yard, I walk my dog. I've always had dogs. I walk them around my swimming pool and then to the side of my house when it's too hot for me to take them out. And I'm going to be out late and can take them out in the evening. So I think it's dogs need to exercise, and we have a lot of apartments in Montebello. Where do they take their dogs to exercise and play with each other? Get a chance to get to communicate with other dogs, get to know other dogs, and to be less aggressive. I would like to see a park in the future, but right now, for that amount of money, no. We need policemen in the south side of Montebello, in that substation that they have not been there for I don't know how long. Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, I apologize for suggesting a dog park because it's really uncovered a can of worms. And no, it is not necessary to have a dog park at this city at this time. Perhaps in the future it would be nice because we do have a lot of apartments, like I said. But anyway, I apologize to the council and to the residents that are so upset about a dog park. But having a dog park is not really that much problems. It's unless, I don't know, I've taken my dogs to a dog park all the time, and they seem to get along well with others. Even a little Shih Tzu that I had, she took over the dog park, and everybody, she was disciplining all the other dogs. So, I mean, it's just a good way for dogs to get to know each other and get along with each other. But, so I apologize to the residents that are upset about a dog park, and I don't think spending that much money on a dog park is really, at this time in our lives, really worth the effort. We've got a lot of other issues in our city that have priorities, people over our pets. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sally Hawkridge.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sally. So anyway, I came to speak in favor of a dog park, although I do agree with our friend who suggested that Acuna Park might not be the best. I personally would love to see a dog park in Ashia, which is a vast and just kind of liminal space that's not really been taken advantage of so well. Furthermore, it's much further away from a lot of residences in case people might be bothered by barking dogs. But as a concept, I think it would be a great idea to have a dog park, even though, yes, there are many, many pressing needs, but it's exactly the kind of sort of pleasant community building thing and positive thing that I feel like Montebello lacks. And I say this as a Montebello resident, I love it here, but I feel like the city isn't really reaching its potential because it's just kind of people live here and there isn't much going on that builds community. I feel like a dog park would kind of build a community. I also wanted to just quickly go over some of the things one would want to see in a dog park, which would include a split off area for dogs below and dogs above 20 pounds, entrances and exits separate, double entrances and exits so dogs do not escape, dog bags so people would clean up drinking water and shade, and especially shade. Given that I was kind of fixated and that would be better to put it in Ashia Park. Ashia Park needs shade. And to get off topic, Ashia Park, like I said, is kind of I find somewhat depressing liminal space that we could be taking a lot better advantage of, you know. So those are my things. Those are my ideas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Joel Alvarez.
evening, Commissioners. Joel Alvarez, 47-year resident, Montebello. I'm speaking about the dog park, obviously, and I'm totally in favor of it. And I do appreciate all the concerns that people have in terms of, you know, where it's proposed for right now at Henry Acuna Park. However, Montebello needs a dog park. I mean, you know, I have a couple dogs, and we have to travel to other cities, you know, to go to a dog park. You know, there is value in a dog park. It's not, you know, I don't like to badmouth our city. I've been lived here almost all my life, but you know, it's not safe in the evening sometimes in certain areas. You know, one time on a dog walk, you know, my dog got attacked by a pit bull that came out of a gate. You know, and that was not a good experience. And recently we had that where those two little, I forget what they're called, the two little dogs that got stolen, you know, at gunpoint. And so I'm just in favor of a dog park. I'm not like tied to Henry Acuna Park. I would be open to any park in the city of Montebello. I understand that you know, Shia Park is owned by Southern California Edison, so I understand there's certain developmental restrictions that may be there. So I'm not sure if that's feasible. I would love to see it there. I would love to see it at Quiet Cannon. It's closer to my house. You know, it'd be much more convenient for me. But nonetheless, I'm just in favor of a dog park, you know, in Montebello, and if it has to be at Henry Acuna, so be it. Again, though, I respect the concerns of the residents that live around Henry Acuna, but I don't think it would be that harsh of an impact that I think how it's being described. And then as far as the funding being used for other matters, I'm not sure if that's feasible. I don't know. I haven't done any research on the grant and all that you guys have. I'm not sure if it's Measure A from the county or where it's coming from, but I do know that when funding, government funding is allocated for a certain project, it can't be used for anything else or diverted for another purpose. You know, I work for Rec and Park City of LA, and that's why I'm really familiar with how that all works. You know, but I just wanted to speak in favor, and I too agree with the lady that said that it was previously proposed for the Quiet Cannon development. You know, I think that would be a great place to have a dog park, although it may be more expensive because you guys would have more grading and things like that would need to go into that. But nonetheless, just wanted to express my support for a dog park in Montebello. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ana Jurado.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, my problem is here with the dog park, but I'm thinking more money-wise. Here they're getting on Angie Jimenez, and they want to recall her. She's thinking of the residents' safety. Other council members are thinking about dogs. I love dogs. Four-legged dogs are the best people to communicate with at all. I love dogs. But if they don't have a police or a fire department over there, they got to outsource that. To outsource that, they got to pay. We got to pay. I'm a homeowner. My taxes are going up like crazy. Every time they're suing a council member and get this and that and all that, I got to pay it. And the supporters of these council members that are getting it approved, I ought to think about it. I used to be an owner. I don't have any more property here. But if I was an owner and my taxes go up, you know whose rent's going to go up? Yes, exactly. If my taxes are going up, the renters are going to pay it up. And that's one thing that people don't realize. You know, we don't need it, especially up here. You live in South Montebello, you're going to come all the way over here to walk your dog. I walk this city every day, the city hall every day. I see a group of maybe 10, 15 people, the same people. You want a dog park? Put your cans and bottles together and put it up and support it yourselves. You know, do something like that. Even a Shia Park was even better. I didn't think about that. But all this is costing us money. And who's paying for it? I don't know if you guys own in Montebello. I don't know if the council, I know 2 people that own in Montebello in the council, they don't. And the rest, I don't know where they live or who. but they're willing to spend $200, $300, whatever $1,000 of my tax dollar that I worked all my life for that I have to be paying. Sure enough, I pay that, and if I'm an owner, my renters are going to pay, and their rents are going to go up. That's the part that's not realized. Better Montebello City, Montebello Park. It's centralized. You have a playground, you have a pool, you have everything there, and the dog park there would be nice. Up here, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I walk every day. I see a group of maybe 10 people every day. Later on during the day as I go, I don't see that many people, maybe walking the streets. I'm fortunate. I have a lot of over 10,000 square feet, and my big dog goes all over the backyard. I'm fortunate, and there's a lot of us up here that have big properties. My only problem is, like I said, to spend that much money on a dog park when we need, and Mrs. Jimenez is trying to fight to get a police department and a fire department substation. These council members don't think because, it's not their family, nothing's gonna happen to them. But what about the people that are there? I've lived in Montebello since, I say, the late 60s. I've seen a lot, I've heard a lot. I was an avid reader of the Montebello Reporter, the Montebello News. Like I said, this is not right. And I'm just bringing it to your attention. Okay, I think the council is wrong in that. For some reason or another, they all want this dog park. Probably they don't even have dogs. And yet here they're doing this. That's the bad thing about it. And the only thing, like I say, it's gonna cost us taxpayers too much money to have that dog park. We have our people over here, you want it, hey, get together as a community and get sponsors, get stuff like that. I'm sure.
Thank you so much.
know?
We are at time. Thank you for the
Pardon me?
comment. We're at time. Over
Okay,
3
I didn't
minutes.
see a clock, so I thought I was gonna go on for an hour. Okay.
I gave you a little bit more, but yes, I do appreciate you.
Thank you very
you.
much.
Our next speaker is Linda Nicholas.
Good evening. My name is Linda Nicholas, co-founder of Match 90640. I'll tell you what the problem with this park is. I didn't see a single sign to come to this meeting south of Whittier Boulevard. That's not legal, okay? Why only the north was noticed? That's wrong. If this park is going to be the City of Montebello Dog Park, it was not noticed to everybody. I drove around purposely. I asked people, am I the only one that's not seeing signs? That was not legal, number one. $650,000, that's the first amount they told us it was gonna cost. Then when I started hollering, they said, maybe $450,000 to $650,000. Well, I started doing my research. Last year, Beverly Hills made a small dog park for $370,000. So what the hell are they gonna put in this dog park that's gonna cost $650,000? That's one. Now, we are getting signatures. We're starting a petition. I'm looking into filing an injunction because that's our money. Now, it's in District 2 for Scarlett's benefit. Now, this whole thing about a dog park started when my daughter, the former mayor, Kimberly Cobos, wanted a dog park. Let me tell you the difference. She was in negotiations with the gas company to lease their property for $1 a year to the city. She was going to get corporate sponsors, business people in the city. They were gonna sponsor the money to make the dog park. They would get a plaque saying this dog park is in honor of the following people. That's how you take care of your city's money. That $650,000 was because of a sales tax that just yesterday, LA County decided they want to go up a quarter of a penny to raise it for the homeless. Had Montebello not done that, when my daughter was the one, and this is the sir that came up here and said it. She's the one that helped get that sales tax, that has helped the city get this money. Otherwise, the county would be getting that money right now. Now, what we need to do is be more responsible. The reason why the substation is needed in the south, they're going to do the ACE project right there on Montebello and Greenwood. That crossing is going to be closed for 4 years. There's 12,000 cars that go north and south in that street every day. So where are those cars gonna go? Now, if there's an accident If there's a fire like that condo that was on Greenwood, we had the county come and help us. Now, if those people have the kind of crime that we've been having lately, they shot somebody in Z's like just a couple days ago. They dumped a body at I call it the Chile Verde golf course because they changed the name. They dumped a body and it was a drug deal. That was last week. We had a home invasion with 7 men, African-American, with guns that broke into a house in North Montebello. Luckily, the people weren't there. But that's the kind of crime Montebello's facing now. Those people are going to be sitting ducks if they don't have access to a police department substation in the south. If you have anybody that lives south of the tracks, they're not going to have a police department there. As it is, it's hard to get police response there. Without any substation down there, this should be used, this $650,000 should be used for the safety of the community. I'm sorry, we have 3 Dobermans in our house. We love animals. But if you're gonna do this, be responsible with the community's taxes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your comment.
Next speaker is Julie Puentes.
Hello, hi, good afternoon. I am a resident and homeowner of Montebello. I think it's wonderful to have a dog park. It would be great. I have had to travel to other cities to take my dog to the park. I do feel that Montebello does need more community facilities, and something like this would bond us as a community. I would like to say that I'm excited about having a dog park. I think it's needed. I live on Victoria, and I see that dog parents already, let go, release their dogs to walk around and run around, whether they're large or small, and that poses a safety threat to the children that are enjoying the park, or people that are walking, jogging, or just other pet owners that are walking their dogs, because people already, I've seen it many times. I live on Victoria. I live right across Acuna Park. So I see them letting their dogs run loose, and it's not a dog park. And I've talked to them sometimes, and I've said, this is not a dog park. I'm sorry, I have a dog myself. This is not a dog park. You need to have them on a leash. So I think that would help that problem. My concern is that this is a small, quiet residential area, and my concern is I don't feel that we have enough, I guess, potential parking for, I'm just thinking ahead, like what would this mean? This would mean more parking here. I am total favor of having a dog park in Montebello. I was very surprised when I bought my home here that there wasn't one already. But I think I would like for it to be in somewhere else. And some residents tonight have suggested the park on Whittier Boulevard, that large park. Perhaps we can consider another location, because I know that this is a small residential. It's not any big streets along the Acuna Park, and I think it might cause some traffic, but also the parking. That's a concern. And if wherever this dog park may be, I just like to see a couple of things. One, and I think it was mentioned already tonight, a clear separation of small dogs and larger dogs, separate entryways for the small and large dogs, some shade and drinking water for the dogs, and,
Thank you so much for your comment. We're at time.
oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
thank you.
Okay, next speaker is Darlene Alcala.
Good evening. Wanted to just make a few comments that while I think my family and I, who have several residents in South Montebello, are not against a dog park, I think the council seems to, for quite a few years now, lost focus on, somebody said it here very eloquently, people over pets. The money can be appropriated to a dog park, a community center, whatever the case may be, but you have to acknowledge that the optic of putting in a dog park versus not having a substation versus allowing residents to be afraid to walk their pets in certain areas outside of the dog park is absolutely unacceptable. If the goal of City of Montebello is to attract more residents to this area, it's not going to happen by putting in a pretty little dog park when the rest of the community is going to hell in a handbasket, quite frankly. And not necessarily in North Montebello, but I'm sure every resident here that is on the south side of Montebello, including myself and the 5 other families that are directly related to me and not related to me, will, unfortunately, they could not be here, but they will also echo the sentiments that I'm making, that, and somebody said it as well, a couple of occasions, that they will not go outside after a certain time of the day to walk their pet for fear that it's not safe. They're not going to travel to the dog park. They expect to be able to walk in the south side of Montebello and feel safe. So perhaps a good solution would be to put it in a centralized area, as someone mentioned here as well, the city park, Montebello City Park. You'd accomplish 2 things. People in the north side are happy because there's a dog park they can get to fairly easily, and the south side of Montebello gets at least a crumb of some attention at this point. And, while both sides can't be happy equally, I think for myself, I would certainly see it as the right optic, the right gesture, the right move going forward. Here's a dog park that everyone can enjoy equally. That's all. Thank you.
That concludes our speaker cards, Chairperson.
Thank you. We'll move on to new business. I want to thank everyone for their public comments.
Thank you, Chairperson. Item number 1 under new business today is the aforementioned dog park, and I'm pleased to welcome Ty Goto from Mark Thomas, the architectural firm and engineering firm that put together a design for the dog park. And just a little bit of background, if I may, Chairperson, today's the second opportunity for public engagement. You heard I believe 11 speaker cards for and against the dog park, and the intention of today is, again, to take those comments in and give them back to Ty and his team at Mark Thomas and see how they could implement any potential changes or improvements or modifications to the plan for the dog park. So at this time, I would like to welcome Ty Goto to come on up and proceed with the presentation.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Commissioners. My name is Ty Goto. I'd like to give an overview of the dog park. Thank you. It's going to be a city's first dog park, and there was a community outreach and surveys conducted in 2020 and 2021, and these events and surveys showed a high increasing interest and desire from the residents of the city of Montebello. This park will provide 0.55 acres of enclosed space for dogs of all ages and designed for off-leash exercise under owner's supervision and socialization. Next, thank you. The Montebello Park Master Plan identified Acuna Park as ideal location because of available open space and also relatively flat open space. And also access to existing playgrounds, restrooms, picnic areas, and a street parking space. The outreach, the workshop was held on May 23rd. And before that, there were notification efforts happen, as shown in the slide. Just for example, door-to-door canvassing, pop-up booth, social media, and so forth. In the workshop, we presented a draft site plan as a starting point to gather feedback and voices from the participants. And in this draft site plan, we presented a dog park with two separate areas, one for smaller dog and the other one for larger dogs. Each area is confined with the fence, chain link fence. Each area has active play areas, passive play areas, timeout area for exciting dogs, shaded seating areas, and open play areas. Features or site furnishings include fencing, double-gated entry, benches, dog waste stations, water station shade with adequate drainage. Also shown was pedestrian access from the street parking from Victoria Avenue to the dog park and also to the restroom and the playground area. Also in the workshop, potential amenities were shared and presented in 4 categories: active amenities, passive amenities, site furnishings, and safeties. There were some interactive amenities, logs, pet waste station. And so out of this workshop, we gathered and summarized and identified 4 highest priority items in each category. Safety, active amenities, passive amenities, and site furnishings. And there are dog park lighting, separated small and large dog area, double entry waiting area or gate area, paved path, agility course, community events area, training equipment, themed equipment, shaded open spaces, exploration, dog run, boulders, shaded seating areas, pet owner water station, drinking fountain, pet waste station, and decomposed granite paving. There are also comment cards written during the workshops. Some of them are highlights are here, summary, adequate lighting, water access, adequate shading, dog waste station, seating with shade, a consideration of a park in a different area, and consideration or concern that the space is not underutilized in the community. This was based off the understanding that there are people training or practicing soccers. And we like to show what we did in the later slide on that. Also, there was a concern that the cost and also do not use artificial turf, protect existing trees, and how question about what we should do with the dangerous dogs, and also how to monitor the playgrounds. So based on these feedback and voices, we prepared an updated site plan for today. And as you can see, we allowed we accommodated some area, open space for soccer practice and multi-use, and that area and a dog park to coexist in the same area. And that area for the multi-use area is around 45 feet to 75 feet, a rectilinear space that accommodates 6 under and 8 under soccer field. Now going to the dog park itself, it's separated into smaller smaller dogs and larger dogs, and the field is decomposed granite paving with a concrete pathway in the perimeter, with the perimeter fences. And it added trees for shade and benches among the site furnishing. There are agility courses, passive and also active, and also have the open space for dog run, free play, or even a community event. Also, drinking fountain, trash receptacle, pet waste stations, and a timeout zone are included in this updated design site plan. A double gated entry is also there, and also the pedestrian concrete walkway from the street parking to the dog park, and also the restroom area is also shown here. And this walkway has lighting for security. The project timeline of this project, after we had the workshop, the next and current stage is final design submittal June, July this year, and construction contractor selecting it in August, and the construction is planned to be complete by end of October this year. And that concludes my overview. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation that was presented before us today. There's no recommendation for this item, but we can leave that open to questions from our commission.
Chairperson, I do have a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Before anything, I do want to thank the residents for taking the time to come and so we can hear your input. That is very important for us. It helps us make a better decision, but I think in the long run, it helps us, connect back with our council members that appointed us and take this input and share it with them as well. One of the questions that I do have is, I know you briefly talked about in the presentation how Acuna Park was selected, but were there other parks that were looked into as well, and why did those parks not work for the dog park?
So we looked at the different area within Acuna Park, as it was one of the comments. Acuna Park in other area has a steep slope, which costs a lot more money to grade. Other parks have many amenities adequate for that area also. Ashia Park is not owned by the city, so that was excluded from it. And also Grant Rea Park was also looked at with many baseball fields, so we have to remove one of them in order to have dog parks. So it was looked at that way. And Acuna Park had the flat open space with amenity access to restroom and others.
Thank you so much. Commissioner, I'm going to refer to our director as well on answering that part of that question.
Thank you, Chairperson. I actually took the words out of my brain there. So essentially, yes, you guys know that we did the Park Master Plan process in 2020. Yes, during COVID, but there was several outreach efforts done there. But not just identifying Acuna Park, but identifying a dog park as something that we wanted to plan for our future here in the city with our park system. So what the folks did on the Park Master Plan was look at every single park that we have and what the current conditions are, current amenities, and where's the best place to do that. So first thing we kind of all thought, and I'll kind of address some things from the audience there, was Ashia Park, but Ashia Park is owned by SoCal Edison. The city has it on a 5-year lease. They won't allow us to build a dog park or a community garden or baseball fields or anything active there, no parking, no asphalt. No fencing above a certain height, no lighting, right? So dog park's out of the question on something that's not the city property. Then to be honest, it wouldn't be the best use of city funds, knowing that that could be taken back by Edison at any point. In terms of open space and unprogrammed space, those are the two parks that were identified. So in our master plan, they looked at opportunity zones for expansion of amenities and programs. We looked at pickleball courts. We did that at City Park because that's what made sense. So all parks were looked at, like Ty mentioned. Grant Ray, you would have to remove amenities to add another amenity. That's not something we're in the business of doing. So Acuna Park ends up being the one that has the less impact to existing amenities, right? And has the open space that's gradable and makes the rest of the park ADA accessible, which is kind of a hidden benefit to this park as well, connecting Victoria to Lincoln and making the whole park accessible. So just if I could piggyback off of Ty, I appreciate the opportunity to explain that. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Commissioner, do you have any more questions?
Yes, one last question. I know that I was the president for the first one, and I was able to hear a lot of the feedback. There was an estimate of the cost. Now with the feedback that was given, do we have an estimate of the new cost that the dog park is going to cost the city?
Yes. So currently the dog park is around that $450 $1,000. And there is also a idea of replacing the restroom that is an alternate bid. So for the dog park, it is around $450,000.
Thank you. That
As
does
estimate.
conclude my questions.
Thank you. Any other commissioners have questions?
Sure, I have one question.
Go ahead, Commissioner Carlin.
Since we're talking about $450,000, where have these funds been identified to come from?
Director, go ahead.
Commissioner, this general fund, it was part of the Public Works CIP project list that was presented and approved by City Council at the last council meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, seeing that there is no more questions on from the commission, are we allowed to take public question?
Not at this time. I know Ty or myself could talk to any members of the public that want to discuss further, but the public speaker portion was the opportunity to speak. So on this item on the record, but we're always open to discuss with residents any comments or concerns.
Okay, I did see a question out in the audience. It's identified. I would appreciate if they could speak to the director after meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we move on, I just want to make a comment that Commissioner Jimenez and Commissioner Carlin asked questions that I already was going to. Approved through our master plan, sent out to the residents back in 2020 for these plans to be communicated on and talked about. So now we're here years later. So I appreciate the public engagement. The civic engagement is extremely important, but I also believe that we need everybody to participate at all times. I do appreciate that. Thank you for the question on the funding. I'm sure there'll be more questions to come on this. Thank you. We will move to consent items.
Chairperson, item number 2 today is a utility box beautification program artwork recommendations. The Arts and Culture Ad hoc or subcommittee of this body met with city staff, the folks here and myself a couple weeks ago, and we received several pieces of artwork that the members of the subcommittee had the grand duty and maybe the curse to have to decide which ones were approved and not approved for artwork. So just a little bit of background for the commission members of the audience. The city has undertaken this utility box beautification program. There's 90+ utility boxes that we aim to beautify throughout the city. The last call for artists was posted on social media and the city website in September of 23. Folks were able to drop off their submissions by December 4th. We actually had some more submissions after the fact, so we could do this formally and actually have a good pool to pull from. So on June 6th, as I mentioned, the Parks and Rec Commission's Arts and Culture Ad hoc Committee reviewed the received artwork submissions and selected those that are being recommended for approval by the commission today. That is in the agenda packets, so if there's no questions about it, just some of the topics that were chosen and discussed were specific to the city's history, as well as Transit's Clean Air Day. So Commissioner Carlin, Commissioner Jimenez, they went ahead and reviewed the artwork with us that day and selected, I believe, 9 artworks to be brought forward to the rest of the commission for their review today. And if there's any questions on that or the process, staff are here to answer them. If not, the floor is yours, Chairperson.
Thank you. Let's first start off with any question from commission.
No question, Chairperson. Just, I think, a couple comments. We did meet and along with my colleague here to look at these, and they're very talented students that we have here in our community, and for the residents, I know they'll get a chance to see these, but it was difficult. I know there was 2 that we did not vote on just because they were outside of the city, which is one of the requirements for students to submit. So I'm excited to approve these and see how we could put them out there.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Carlin, anything?
Yeah, I have maybe a comment and maybe 2 questions. First comment, I just want anyone who's listening, and if you put your artwork in, you did an amazing job. It was very difficult for us, and I want to appreciate you. We had to pick from a small batch, and so I hope they continue to keep coming, and I can hope that people continue to develop art, which leads me to some of my questions. One question is, when will we be able to open this back up for further submission? And then a secondary question, I'd like to make a motion to make a change to one of the rules. The rules that it does state that the person needs to be a resident of Montebello. And I understand that there was a few entries, maybe from Pico Rivera, because they came to Montebello Unified School District. I also know we have St. Benedict, Cantwell, Miraculous Medal. So we have schools in our community that maybe students may participate with, but may not be a resident. I'd like to make a motion if we could look at that rule for maybe an adjustment. If they come to these schools that are in the city, they should be honored and welcomed as well. So
There's a motion on the table.
Chairperson, just for order of operations here, I think appropriately it would be best if the commissioner's motion is added to the potential approval or disapproval of the artwork, just to kind of collect all that into one motion. That's the best way to not move on from this item without voting on the actual item, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So when it comes time for the motion, just to
okay,
add that, yes.
okay.
We
And-
still had a motion here for those rules. I'm gonna hold off a second. Is there a second on that one?
I'll second it.
Okay, seeing that it's seconded for that motion that was made, I think we need to vote. I heard the director's comment on including those together, right? The approval?
That'd be correct, but I'd be best to allow the rest of the comments from the commission. Then I believe I wanted to answer a question from Commissioner Carlin. Do you mind restating it? I apologize.
Yeah, the first question is, when are we going to be able to review more art in the future?
So that's a great question, Commissioner. So it'd be up to the subcommittee again to meet with staff and kind of decide what our next plan of action is and outreach and what the topics are going to be. So I'll put the ball in your court, but we'll reach out to make sure we schedule that subcommittee meeting as soon as possible so we could make those decisions as a team.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just needed clarification. Are we voting on?
They're all together.
Yes, that is correct. It's the whole package. So there was about 15 or 16 total. These are the 9 that were suggested by the subcommittee.
Okay, I do want to make note, though, that our Commissioner Carlin did make a motion in the middle of our other motion. So it was seconded. So I want to make sure that we put that on there as well. If we can get an all in favor for making that inquiry added to our packet.
Aye. Aye.
All those in favor, aye. Any opposed? All right, seeing that there's none, I want to get us back to the other motion of approving these with the now open added date for reopening. That was questioned, and then also inquiring about the requirements on future applications. Can I get a motion?
A motion to approve?
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Seeing that there's none, it's moved. Director, were we going to review some of the art on screen for the residents, or is it just in the packet?
Not today, but it's also available online at the city clerk's area of the city website. The entire agenda packet has all the artwork.
Okay, thank you. I did want to make sure that residents that are here either received a packet and know where to go if they have not. After this consent item, we can move on to approval of minutes. The approval of minutes from April 18th, Parks and Rec Commission regular meeting, one of the last ones that we've had. Just need a motion.
Sure,
for
I'll make a
approval.
motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Carlin. Can I get a second? Second. Thank you, Commissioner Jimenez. All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Seeing that there's none, so moved. Now on to staff communications.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson Santana, members of the commission, for event program updates. We have our summer edition of our recreation guide now available online and in print at City Hall, our recreation office, as well as our senior center. It is the 4th edition of the recreation guide and includes information, including our summer camp, aquatics programming, and Street Fest. Moving on to Independence Day. The Independence Day Spectacular will take place on Saturday, June 29th. There is a new scheduled start time this year of 4 p.m. It will end at 9:30. We have entertainment featuring Gold Rush Country, Costello Music, and the Wise Guys, and that will take place right before our fireworks show at 9 p.m. We have a free shuttle operating from 3 to 11 p.m. at 7 different locations throughout the city. Next is our Downtown Street Fest, scheduled for Saturday, July 27th from 3 to 10 p.m. The event will feature food, a beer garden, vendors, and live entertainment. Entertainment will feature Tony Barra's Smooth Sound of Santana, Vilma Diaz y La Senora, and again, the Wise Guys. We'll have free shuttles again at 7 different locations, and those will run from 2 to 11 p.m. Our summer food service program is underway. It began last Monday, June 10th, and so far has been popular, and we expect it to continue growing throughout the summer. It is a USDA program that allows children 18 and under to obtain free meals at 4 different park locations. 2 of our parks also feature a free snack time as well. It typically serves 350 to 400 lunches per year. And it is held at Hollyfield, Reggie, City Park, and Grant Ray Park. Our aquatics program is now underway as well. It opened on June 7th with free recreation swim. Our rec swim program is available Monday through Saturday at 1 p.m. We also have adult lap swim Monday through Thursday at various times, a swim team available for kids 7 to 16, which began on June 10th and will run through August 8th. And our Grant Ray splash pad is now open 7 days a week from 11 to 7 p.m. Continuing with our summer aquatics program, we also have swim lessons available. We're approaching our 2nd session, and registration for that will begin tomorrow. Junior water polo is available for kids ages 11 to 17. Adult water polo as well from June 9th to July 28th. And aqua aerobics, I believe, is a drop-in program for 18 years and older from June 11th through August 29th. Also at our pool, we're going to be hosting movie nights, 3 total, starting this Saturday with Trolls Band Together. On July 20th, we will feature The Little Mermaid. And on August 10th, Kung Fu Panda. Doors open at 7 p.m. We do recommend that people get there early. It is a drop-in program, but it will fill up, and we can only permit so many people on the pool deck safely. Snacks will be provided while supplies last. And lastly, for me, our summer camp program is also underway. It sold out in its first week of programming. I believe there are still additional spaces left for the upcoming week. It will run through July 26. It is set up in 2-week sessions for kids ages 4 to 13. It runs Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 6 p.m., and it includes a free lunch, trips to the swimming pool, as well as weekly field trips. Oh, sorry.
Chairperson, members of the commission, for the remaining slides, I'll go ahead and go through. It's just some updates. We've talked about some of these projects in the past, and they've all moved along very well in the last couple months since we last met. So just again, letting the community know again about the Rio Hondo River Access Project. This was a competitive grant that the city received from LA County's Regional Parks District, Measure A Competitive Grant Program. Happy to say that we just received final plans and specs for this that are under review by Public Works and our building official and plan checkers. We're hoping to take this to council for RFP in July. So that will be coming soon. And again, just to remind folks what's going to happen there, it makes the area of Rhea Drive and Beverly a little bit more accessible to walkers, bikers, runners, and horses as well, animals as well. So that area will be enhanced, as well as the former kind of falling apart there Barnyard Zoo sign, which will replace with a rendering similar to something similar to the rendering there, a new LED digital sign. Another Measure A funded program, we're making ADA enhancements and improvements overall to the City Park ball field, new bleachers, bringing the below ground dugouts above ground into grade, redoing all the backstop area, the asphalt's kind of breaking up there and making that more accessible, replacing some sections of fencing, a new outfield turf, which is the home for the city's youth sports programs. We'll have a nice, more level, playable field with a new irrigation system go along with it. Just like the previous project, this project is in final plan check review with our Public Works Department with the potential to go out to council in July for the request for bids. And last, another grant-funded program, both Measure A and CDBG. Our senior center downstairs, finally in the final stages of plan check on that one. It was a long process due to several issues in trying to make sure that we do this project the right way. So thanks again to our Public Works folks for helping us out with this project. We're going to be creating a computer lab as well as a fitness area for the seniors downstairs using those grant funds, Measure A and CDBG. And again, another project that's looking to go out to bid in July. So those are just updates on some of the city's projects that we've been working on for a year plus on some of them, but to the final stretch, and hope to see some of these projects built in the near future. And if there's any questions about this or any of the city's programs, we can answer at this time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Commissioners, any questions?
No questions, but I do have a comment. I'm really happy to see the senior center have a renovation. It's been quite a while, and it's good to.
Thank you, Commissioner Takayama. Any other questions? Thank you. Lastly, our commission and committee orals. I'll jump in and go first and kind of echo the sentiment of Commissioner Takayama. I want to first recognize our director and team and staff and everyone over these last 2 months of events that we've had here in the city to bring city camaraderie and bring us together. Specifically, I'd like to thank the city and city council for their support during our Pride event, the 5K, our 4th annual. Really want to say thank you. Took a couple months of planning. We had hundreds of people sign up and multiple people attend, vendors. We had dignitaries there as well, and some recognition to our residents here in the city. Just want to say thank you. It means a lot, especially being from the community. It's very important to be visible and to be diverse. There's still children and adults that need pride events because they don't feel like their life is worth it. We need these types of events, so thank you so much. Next, I again look around this room. This is probably our largest Parks and Rec Commissioner meeting that we've had. Brandon out there, Brandon Takayama, you have some other people here with you. Thank you so much for participating. Kind of said this during the end of our new business presentation, but participation and civic engagement is extremely important. Again, a lot of these plans on the city parks were talked about in 2020, and now we're talking about them again in 2024. They were just as important then as they were now, and so this means that vote. Talk to your council members, talk to us, the commissioners as well. We all care for the city, and people over pets, pets over people, that's not debatable. I think Montebello overall, right? So I just want to thank everybody for their participation here. It does mean a lot. Please talk to your council members. Lastly, I'm going to do a little bit of a plug. I want to say congratulations to all 2024 graduates. I have to recognize one of our commissioners who graduated this year. So congrats to everybody that graduated, but Commissioner Takayama, if I'm missing any other commissioners that graduated or anybody in the audience that I'm missing, this is just a general thank you so much and great job this 2024 cycle. Next, I'll hand it over to Commissioner or Vice Chair Commissioner Levano.
I want to thank everyone for coming out. It's very important that all you guys are involved. There's occasions where we use other means of communication, but attending these meetings is very important. That way people hear your voice, you have suggestions, comments. We encourage you guys to come out. We're here every third Thursday of the month. Come out. Share whatever you want to share with us. That way we could communicate between us and kind of come up with a plan, come up with solutions that's going to benefit the community. We're bilingual. speak multiple languages, and we're here for you guys. So whatever pertains to Parks and Recs, we're here for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioner Carlin, any reports?
Yes, I'd like to actually second your statement. Civic engagement is critically important. And yes, this discussion started back in 2020. I'm really happy to see everyone here. It's very important that you're here. We listen to you. I want you to know I'm available, just like Commissioner Santana said, we're all available to hear and listen to your issue, gripes, complaints, suggestions. We want to know more. To that end, we missed May. I'm sure there was a good reason. It looks like we're very busy in the Parks Department, that you do an amazing job. But this just illustrates how important that we need to be here and accessible to our community every single month. On a good positive note, I heard there was a rumor that a parade is coming back to Montebello. I hope that continues to come forward. I'm wishing and praying for that. So thank you for pushing and making things happen. I'm just very honored to be here, and I look forward to meeting and getting to know everyone in the attendance today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Carlin. Commissioner Takayama?
Yes, I was just, I feel the same way. I feel that the voice for the community is so important. And when you come and you talk and you share your ideas, it's just so important on our level because we are residents too, and we listen. And we understand where you're coming from because I share the same sentiments as you do. I also want to say that I hope to see more adaptive, inclusive outings. My daughter really enjoyed it, and she enjoyed doing different activities, and I feel like our city needs to move that forward too as well. Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Jimenez?
Yes, to echo what my colleagues have said, I think it's really important. Majority of you, I look across and either I work with you or we're neighbors first before we are our titles, right? And I think that's something that I've always stressed throughout the work that we've been doing. I have a local organization here in the city as well. My brother's our city clerk here in the city, so it's important. Civic engagement is really something we push for. So I do thank you taking your time this evening to come and, for us to hear your concerns, for us to hear your input. That is very important to me, and I know equally to my colleagues. On another note, I do want to ask my colleagues if we can please adjourn our meeting in honor and memory of Don Rolando Walter Wolovich. He was a beloved community member. Unfortunately, he passed away this past week. He was the owner of the Montebello Boneyard Zoo. I'm pretty sure everybody is very familiar with this staple in our community. And he was the owner for over 35 years, I believe, David, he was, right? So definitely a loss for our community. So if we can please adjourn today's meeting in his memory.
Thank you, Commissioner. I will pass it over to you to make the motion. Thank you so much for that. If you would can please.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. First and seconded. Can I get all those in favor for adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting's adjourned, 6:44 p.m. Thank you so much.